Hey pups, Arby here, and to kick off the holiday season, I'm counting down my top favorite 15 Christmas movies. Now, I won't count Christmas specials because they'll deserve a list of their own, and completely ignoring one movie per franchise rule. Please keep in mind that these are my personal favorite Christmas movies. If you have a favorite Christmas movie or movies, be sure to share them in the comments below. Also, this may or may not contain spoilers, so a spoiler alert is now in effect. That being said, let's get this video started! A Christmas Story. This is definitely on here for a reason. The plot of the movie takes place in the 1940s with Ralphie, wishing and wanting the one thing he wants the most for Christmas. A Red Ryder range 200-shot BB gun. But here's the catch. He'll shoot his eye out, which is one of the most famous quotes from the movie and the biggest warning to parents of children who want BB guns. But he has to convince his parents that the BB gun is the most perfect gift for him. The reason why it's on this list is because this was my grandfather's favorite Christmas movie of all time. It was kind of hard to watch for a while after he passed on, but it reminds me of good Christmases with him. But while it's not my most favorite, it holds a special place in my heart for that reason. And every time I watch it, it feels like I'm spending Christmas with my granddad again. Black Xmas. I should probably warn some of you right now, a lot of these movies aren't as jolly and merry as y'all can expect them to be. Heck, even horror finds ways into the holiday season. The 2006 extreme edgy remake of the 1974's original Black Christmas is on this list. Because of this reason and this reason alone, I like horror films. And horror films that are surrounding the holiday season. The 2000s went through a really edgy phase where everything was extreme in horror, and possibly thriller movies. I mean, hell, just look at the Saw franchise and Repo the Genetic Opera. Black Xmas was no exception. The story revolves around Billy, a man with a weird skin disease that makes him look like a Simpsons character, and his whole crappy life, and his sister-daughter. Yes, I said sister-daughter. Watch the Dead Meets Kill count of the movie if you're 18 plus and can handle gore and extreme topics that are very uncomfortable to talk about, so, yeah. The two are going on a killing spree involving the lives of a sorority home and the sisters within it. Keep in mind that this movie is extreme with the gore. Not really at Saw levels, maybe either below or above that depending on who you ask, but it's up there. And a lot of extremeness that 2000s horror went through. Well, those that were ex-core, of course. If you're able to handle that and are above the age of 18 to 21, I strongly advise that if you decide to watch this movie, have a bucket and stomach meds ready if you have a very sensitive tum-tum. The Christmas Toy. I barely remember this movie, but I remember bits and pieces of it. Believe it or not, this just so happens to be a Muppet movie. Well, a sort of Muppet movie. And I only remember a little bit of the movie. I think at one point it aired on Nick Jr. in the 90s. All I remember is the tiger toy and the mouse toy, and that's pretty much it. And also the ending where all the toys gather around with Kermit randomly appearing at the end. And the movie also inspired a spin-off series called The Secret Life of Toys. I could see where the inspiration from The Secret Life of Pets came from. At the time of scripting this, I haven't rewatched it yet, but I probably will as soon as I can. But regardless, I recommend the movie. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Okay, I know what a lot of you are thinking.
That movie was trash!
It didn't make any sense!
Ew, fruitcake.
Actually, I agree with the last one. Fruitcake? Kinda gross. But here's the weird thing about me putting the movie on this list. Yes, I know it's a bad one, but it's a bad one in a good way. A lot of folk who watch this movie and go back to watch it often see it in a bad light, yes. But the thing about this movie and its weird uniqueness is some of the variations and covers from the songs by the very famous Elmo and Patsy. I still find it a nostalgia classic to this day. Even if it's a bad movie, to me at least, it's bad in a good way. It's so bad that it's good. And if you're looking for bad nostalgic Christmas movies to laugh at, I would recommend this one. My Little Pony: A Very Minty Christmas. Alright, I think I'm kind of cheating on this one, but this was before I turned into a Pegasus sister. I did like My Little Pony for a while, but then My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic came along and sparked a huge love for the franchise within me. I mean, come on! Compare the designs from Gen 1 to Friendship is Magic and you'll see what I mean. But A Very Minty Christmas is one of, if not the only My Little Pony Christmas films I watched as a kid. And I had a huge love for Pinkie Pie and Minty after this movie. I haven't seen the Twinkle Star movie yet, but I plan on watching it. The designs got a lot cuter after that. They weren't Friendship is Magic cute, but Hasbro is getting there. So if you're a brony slash Pegasus sister and are looking for a classic My Little Pony Christmas film, highly recommend A Very Minty Christmas and or the Twinkle Star movie. Spot's Magical Christmas. Now this movie I remember seeing and rented a lot of the time whenever my family and I rented videos of movies. This is one of the main ones I'd pick up and bring to watch because I had a picture of a puppy on it. Basically the Spot series is about a puppy named Spot. That's basically it. There was a video series inspired by the children's books, and I loved anything related to doggos. Basically any animal really. Yeah, except for spiders and snakes. And this movie was one of my favorites to watch during the Christmas season. Heck, I think you can find the movie on YouTube and watch it whenever. Basically, the movie is about two reindeer trying to find Santa's lost sleigh. Long story short, Spot finds the sleigh and brings it back to the North Pole. Yeah, kinda simple, but enjoyable and really cute. So, if you have young kiddos, this one is a major recommendation for them to watch, especially during the holiday season. Frosty the Snowman. A movie inspired by the song of the same name, Frosty is brought to life by an evil magician's hat, and since the day is getting hotter, he has to get to the North Pole, with the help of a little girl, with the evil magician trying to get his hat back. While it's low on the list, it's seen as one of the all-time classics to everyone, plus it's a super popular Christmas movie by Rankin Bass. I do watch it whenever I can during the holiday season. Plus, if you're looking for one of the classics involving Snowman, Frosty is the #1 recommendation. It might be Jack Frost if you haven't seen it. No, not that Jack Frost. That one was bad, even for horror movie standards. The family-friendly one. That's better. But sadly, neither one of those Jack Frost movies are on this list, so there's only room for Frosty. Eloise at Christmas Time. If you're wondering which one I'm talking about both the cartoon and live-action movies of Eloise. Yes, I'm cheating, but I'm allowed to. Both the cartoon and movie adaptations of Eloise are adorable. And if you don't know about Eloise, she's basically a little girl who lives at the Plaza in New York City. Though I mostly watch the live-action movie a lot throughout December. The movie is about Eloise around Christmas, trying to keep an old grouchy lady's home at the hotel, even though she's obviously a mean, rude old lady, and trying to stop a marriage between a thief and the hotel owner's daughter, and help the daughter fall in love with one of the hotel workers. It's super sweet. You should probably watch the movie to get a better idea of what I'm saying here. A huge recommendation for the family. It's super cute. Olive the Other Reindeer. Ever heard of this movie? They showed it on Cartoon Network during the Christmas season. Olive the Other Reindeer tells the story of a dog named Olive, and it turns out Santa cancels Christmas because of Blitzen's broken leg. Olive's pet flea, Fido, mishears it as Olive the Other Reindeer, instead of all of the other reindeer. This entails Olive to travel to the North Pole with her new penguin friend, Martini, and has to stop an evil postman from ruining Christmas. Now, I know a lot of jobs that suck to work during Christmas, a male person being one of them, but I don't think it's a reason to really hate Christmas if you ask me. Honestly, I'd think of it as a holiday bonus on the paycheck. Or the postman could have just asked for holiday leave. Would have been easier on him if you ask me. Maybe they were short-staffed in the movie. Oh well. A Christmas Carol. Which one am I talking about? All of them! The Muppets, Barbie, the Disney animated one with Jim Carrey, the Mickey Mouse version, Looney Tunes Bah Humduck, you name it, there's a parody of the whole story there. Here's a summary of the story. An old man named Scrooge is greedy and selfish, forcing his workers to work on Christmas Day, and despises the holiday. He's visited by the spirit of his old business partner, Marley, and is then visited by 3 ghosts later that night. The ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. And each ghost tries to show Scrooge the error of his ways. And I think y'all already know the whole story by now. A Christmas classic by Charles Dickens, and any movie adaptation of the story is worth watching if you ask me. The Polar Express. A childhood classic. Based on the book of the same name, The Polar Express tells the tale of Hero Boy. No, seriously, that's the name they put on the credits. I'm not even kidding. Waking up on the night of Christmas Eve to the one and only Polar Express. Upon boarding the train, Hero meets Hero Girl, Know-It-All Kid, and Billy, the only kid with a name in this movie. And they all travel to the North Pole. Hero finally believes in Santa near the end, and both the movie and book are a joy around the holiday season. I recommend both the book and the movie for the nostalgic freaks out there, or for people who have younglings in their family and want to pass down this true gem of a holiday movie book to them. And don't get me started on the song When Christmas Comes to Town. It is amazing. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Another childhood classic, but instead of a book, this one is also based on the song of the same name. Rudolph is a red-nosed reindeer, ridiculed and bullied just for being different. He travels away from the North Pole with the dentist elf, Hermie, and Yukon Cornelius. He later finds his parents and doe friend, Clarice, trapped and kidnapped by the Bumble, aka the Abominable Snowman, and later saves them. Everyone goes back to the North Pole. Santa gets news that there's a huge fog, or a snowstorm. I honestly can't remember which one. It's actually been a while since I watched the movie. And of course, asks Rudolph to light the way, thanks to his glowing red nose. And this is the true blue Christmas classic to watch during the holiday season. It was one of my all-time favorites as a kid. And trust me, there's plenty more to go through. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now this one is based off a book, based on the popular storybook by Dr. Seuss. I'm actually going to focus on the live-action one with Jim Carrey. Don't get me wrong, the 1966 is gold, and the newer one from 2018 was... nothing to really brag about if you ask me. But for some reason, in my opinion, the live-action version has a weird comedical charm to it. It kind of looks like something I'd make if I were a director for the holiday classic story, and turned it into a live-action film of comedical craziness. And if I'm being honest here, Jim Carrey as the Grinch himself, chef's kiss. More or less. Sorry, Benedict Cumberbatch, but Jim Carrey did it better. There's something about Jim Carrey as the Grinch that really brings out this weird masterpiece, if you want my opinion of it. The story goes as follows. The Grinch hates Christmas in Whoville, tries to steal it, but Christmas isn't about food or gifts or anything like that. It's all about friends and family coming together during the season of love and happiness. Yeah, that's it. Next one. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Is anyone really surprised to see it on this list? Well, it's mostly played and seen as a Halloween movie. It's also played and seen as a Christmas movie. Well, I see it as both. This is Tim Burton's magnum opus, and a definite favorite of mine. Jack Skellington, tired of the same old Halloween routine, discovers and tries out the Christmas season for himself, in his own horrific Halloween-y way. You can guess how to go if Halloween took over Christmas. This is one of my all-time favorite Halloween Christmas movies to watch during the season. But even though it's my all-time favorite, it sadly takes second place to my number one pick. But before that, let's get to some honorable mentions. The Nutcracker. I'm focusing on the Barbie version of it. While I wasn't a fan of the toys, I was a bigger fan of the movies. To this day, I don't really know why. Might be because of my weird preferences. But the first Barbie movie ever made was one of my favorites to watch. And truth be told, I'm actually a huge fan of the Nutcracker Ballet. And actually was a ballet dancer in my younger years. Sort of. And this movie is a definite favorite of mine, solely for the purpose of my love for ballet. The story tells of Clara, whose Nutcracker comes to life, and she and the Nutcracker have to defeat the evil Mouse King in order to find the Sugar Plum Princess and the Prince. The Nutcracker turns out to be the Prince, and Clara's the Princess. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And the Barbie version is a classic for anyone of all ages. Well, to me at least. A Charlie Brown Christmas. A real Peanuts classic by Charles Schulz. It's another holiday movie I watched a lot as a kid, and watched during the Christmas season, and is a real classic for the young and old. And if you're a Peanuts fan, or a Snoopy fan, this is the number one movie that everyone names off, and recommends for all. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, another Muppet Christmas movie. Well underrated, and unknown to most, this is one my parents enjoyed when they were growing up. I watched the movie a few times, and let me tell ya, it's super cute, and an underrated holiday gem Jim Henson created. Alrighty, now that we've got the honorable mentions out of the way, it's finally time for the number one pick. Krampus. Come on. You can't tell me you aren't surprised to see this movie on this list. Krampus tells the tale of a family who basically can't get along. The boy, Max, rips up his letter to Santa and throws it out the window in frustration and anger, reawakening the anti-Santa demon with his destroyed holiday spirit. Each family member is captured one by one, and the ending is bittersweet as the family soon gets along. Sort of. And Krampus was directed by the same man behind Trick or Treat. The guy's a freaking genius, dude! Also, this is a Christmas horror film that I would recommend to anyone. And the demon Krampus comes from German mythology to scare naughty children into being good. All I gotta say is, the movie is amazing! If you're looking for a good Christmas horror flick that isn't as extreme as Black Xmas, and isn't as terrible like Jack Frost, then I recommend this movie for you. I did want to add more holiday movies to this list, but I'll list some of my other favorites either in the description or in a pinned comment. That being said, leave your favorite holiday movie in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one, pups! Cue the outro, because RP is out. Peace!